Hi. Okay, so what we're going to do is do some eyeball glazing, and I like to use the Mako one stroke and coats because they don't run and I can do some fun things with them. I also have some smaller round tip brushes. This one's a flat, and these two are round. They come to a small point. When I went into the Glaze brush drawer, though, I found this brush, and if you look at all that stuff on it. That's no good. I don't want to use a brush that's a mess, so don't be that person. Please clean out your brushes. You're going to need your needle tool or some shirt tool. And I forgot to get that, sorry. What I'm trying to do is I'm going to use Mako glazes to make some details, and if I build them up, they can be a relief. Because they're Mako glazes, they can also be shiny, like an eyeball glassy. So I'm going to first load in my darkest color. I'm going to load up my brush and scrape it off so I have it at the point. And I'm going to just drip in my color on this iris part of this monster. Okay, and I'm only going to work on the iris first. The last step will be the pupil, and I need to work a little bit fast. So while I'm laying in the color, I want it to stay wet while I add in my other colors. And notice the first coat is always going to soak really quickly into your pot, because the clay is porous, and so it's just soaking up all those details. Now, if you guys can't see, you're more than welcome to come close. I have my Moody Blue on this brush, so I'm going to just lay that guy down, grab a different brush. Now I'm going to drop in, I'll do my little blue yonder. I'm going to just drip in some. Notice because I used a palette, I can keep dipping in, even though my glaze hasn't dried. I really don't want it to dry yet because I'm going to mix these guys a little bit while it's wet. So I'm just dropping in colors. I have my third brush. I'm going to add a little green to this for interest. And while this is wet, I'm going to take my sharp tool. Again, you could use a needle tool for this. And I'm going to just pull these colors clean off my tip. And so I'm pulling in those colors to make those iris little lines. If you've ever looked up close at someone's eyes, see all those little color changes. It's pretty cool. Okay, I have to work fast, so I do this while it's wet. And I'm going to keep working it until I like it. I will also go back and I'll add a dot of white for like a highlight. If I mess up, I can just scrape it off and try again. So it's not a big deal. And this is a monster pot, and I'm using more realistic colors, but you could go totally crazy on your monster pots and do like red, fiery eyes with red, yellow, and orange or something else. So if I don't see enough color contrast, like in this guy, I'm not seeing enough, I want to go back and add a little bit more of that other color so I see a mixture. Add a little drip of blue. That was a big drip. I didn't want that much, but that's okay. I'll work it in here. And I'm cleaning off my tip, needle tool or whatever sharp tool you're using as I go. Because if I don't clean that off, it's not going to mix in. All right, getting ready to do the last step. Now, it wouldn't have to be pulled like lines. You could just do crazy swirls like marbling technique. And we also use the Mako glaze typically for marbling. So if you like the look of this, look at that marbling technique. What I'm going to do next, after I'm done the iris, I'm going to load up my brush, and typically your pupil is black. Again, if you're doing a monster pot, you could be more creative and have it be veering a little bit away from reality. So I'm going to just drop in enough of this tuxedo, which is my Mako one stroke and coat black. And I could wait until the iris dries if I'm nervous that I'm going to be too jittery to get this in. Okay, once I'm done that, I'm going to add a little highlight. So let me clean one of my brushes here. And I'm going to just add a little drop wherever the highlight is going to be, the light source. I'm just going to add a tiny little dot. Let's put a highlight on this side, and I'll add a nice little dot on this side. So they're both in kind of the same angle. And then I can let it dry, and I'll zoom in here so when it gets fired, it should look pretty fun. Okay, and that's using the Mako Glaze and a sgraffito almost, or pulling the colors through with your needle tool to get those details. And you can overlap colors. I have them in a palette, so I'm not mixing the glazes and contaminating them. I also wanted to mention, I'm on a paper towel, but I'm also on a spongy surface so I don't hurt my piece while I work. Feel free to grab one of those. Thanks so much.